The Boston Massacre marked a significant turning point in American history. On March 5, 1770, British soldiers clashed with colonists, resulting in bloodshed. The aftermath saw a powerful propaganda campaign that shaped public perception and fueled revolutionary sentiment. Let's explore how this tragic event was used to further colonial aims. In the years leading up to 1770, tensions between the American colonists and British authorities were escalating. The British had stationed troops in Boston to enforce unpopular laws and taxes. The presence of these soldiers created an atmosphere of hostility and resentment among the colonists. Skirmishes and confrontations were becoming more frequent, setting the stage for a major conflict. On the night of March 5th, a minor dispute between a British soldier and a colonial apprentice quickly escalated, drawing a crowd and leading to the tragic events that would soon be known as the Boston Massacre. On the evening of March 5th, 1770, a confrontation between a British sentry and a colonist escalated rapidly. As tensions rose, more soldiers and a crowd of colonists gathered. Amid the chaos and taunts, someone shouted, "Fire!" and those soldiers, feeling threatened, discharged their muskets. The shots resulted in the deaths of 5 colonists, including Crispus Attucks, a man of African and Native American descent. The immediate aftermath was chaotic, with the crowd dispersing and soldiers retreating to their barracks. News of the incident spread quickly, inflaming the already simmering resentment towards British rule. Colonial leaders wasted no time in using the Boston Massacre to their advantage. Samuel Adams, a prominent member of the Sons of Liberty, spearheaded the effort to depict the event as a brutal attack by British tyrants on innocent colonists. One of the most influential pieces of propaganda was Paul Revere's engraving of the massacre. The engraving showed British soldiers firing in a coordinated volley into a peaceful crowd, with Captain Thomas Preston, the officer in charge, giving the order to fire. This portrayal was a stark exaggeration of the actual events, as the soldiers had acted in self-defense amid a chaotic scene. Revere's engraving was widely distributed and reprinted, becoming an iconic image that fueled anger and resistance. Additionally, pamphlets and newspaper articles circulated throughout the colonies, painting the British soldiers as bloodthirsty oppressors. These publications often included vivid descriptions of the event, emphasizing the innocence of the victims and the brutality of the soldiers. Public speeches by colonial leaders further amplified these sentiments, calling for unity against British tyranny. The propaganda campaign was highly effective, galvanizing public opinion and creating a shared sense of injustice and resolve among the colonists. This unified stance was crucial in the growing movement towards independence, as it framed the conflict as a struggle for liberty against oppressive rule. The British, aware of the colonial propaganda, sought to present their side of the story. They argued that the soldiers acted in self-defense after being provoked by a hostile mob. The trial of the British soldiers was a significant event, with John Adams, a respected lawyer and future president, defending them. Adams argued that the soldiers had been surrounded by an aggressive crowd throwing snowballs, rocks, and other objects that they fired in fear of their own lives. His defense was very compelling, and 6 of the 8 soldiers were acquitted. The 2 found guilty of manslaughter were branded on their thumbs and released. The British portrayal of the incident as a defensive action against an unruly mob aimed to counteract the colonial narrative and mitigate the damage to their reputation. The propaganda surrounding the Boston Massacre had a profound impact on the colonial public opinion. The graphic depictions and emotionally charged narratives helped to unify the colonists against a common enemy. Many colonists previously indifferent or loyal to the crown began to view British rule as oppressive and unjust. The event and its portrayal were instrumental in mobilizing support for the revolutionary cause. The shared outrage over the massacre created a sense of solidarity among the colonies, fostering a collective identity that transcended regional differences. This unity was essential in the subsequent push for independence, as it strengthened the resolve of the colonists to resist British authority and fight for their rights. Today, historians continue to debate the extent and impact of the propaganda surrounding the Boston Massacre. While the colonial accounts were undeniably exaggerated, they were effective in achieving their goal of rallying support against British rule. Modern interpretations often emphasize the need to critically examine historical sources and consider multiple perspectives. The Boston Massacre serves as a reminder of how events can be shaped and manipulated to serve political ends. Understanding the use of propaganda in this context is crucial for a nuanced view of history and forces that drive societal change. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, and subscribe, and follow along for more 5-minute histories.